Good morning, everybody. Happy whatever day of the week it is. Today, as we always do, we set our day up right by going for a nice little workout in the morning. This morning I went for a run. I think it was like a 5K one, but it had to be extra hard because I know that today is going to be even more stressful than it normally is because we're meeting with our media guy. We've got heaps on the cards today, lots of servicing, lots of everything else that we need to do. So we have to start our day off right by doing a workout. So we finished it. Now I'm going to run inside. I'm going to have a quick shower. I'm going to read some of my book and then I'm going to see you guys at the shop. All right, ciao. Today we're obviously filming with a camera, which I cannot describe with words how much extra stress that suddenly brings on to doing I would describe as a relatively straightforward job for someone who is a bike mechanic 7 days of the week. Suddenly having a camera makes it a little bit more difficult. So you can probably tell that I'm working it out as I go along. I've got some tips that I do, or not tips, I suppose, things that I do to make it feel less stressful for me. You've probably noticed that I wave my hands around a lot. If you came in and met Lewis doesn't wave his hands around a lot. It's just when the camera comes out, that's just what happens. So yeah, Lewis on camera, I imagine is very similar to Lewis that you'd meet normally, but doing these, again, relatively straightforward jobs suddenly seem slightly less straightforward because I'm trying to explain what I'm doing, which to me, you know, doing a tubeless wheel is, I would almost go as far as to say muscle memory for me. I've done it thousands of times, but I'm trying to describe it to a camera. So I'm having to think about what I'm doing. I'm probably getting my words backwards. I'm probably mispronouncing different things, but as long as the idea is getting across and you guys can learn a couple of things, I think at the end of the day, that's kind of all that I really want. So if you think that there's something that I can do to make these videos sound better, please tell me, because otherwise I'm just gonna keep waving my arms around and doing silly things, and hopefully it makes sense to people. So if you've got any tips, please send them through. We're setting up to do a quick little video about tubeless here. I wanna make sure that you guys can understand some of the, I suppose, behind the scenes things that go into all kinds of things, whether it's setting up tubeless, whether it's changing your tube or your tire. In this particular video, we're going to talk about tubeless. We're going to talk about what tools you'll need at home, maybe tricks to make the job a little bit easier, maybe reasons why it's good or bad with all different things. So follow along and hopefully you can learn a couple of things, whether it's tubeless from this video or something from another video, but watch along and see what happens. First time that I ever tried to set up tubeless, I remember it so well because it was one of those I wanted to cry moments. That's how bad it was. I was trying to set up tubeless exactly as I am right now, and it was the night before I had a mountain bike race. Once I finally, after I don't even know how many attempts, more than I can count on two hands, after it finally got seated, I remember I was holding the wheel in my hand and I tried to shake it around to slosh the sealant around, and the cassette fell off. And I thought, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to put a cassette back on yet. And it was the night before a race, and it was 11 o'clock at night. I might have started at 8 o'clock, and attempt 1, attempt 2, attempt 3, attempt 4, attempt third hand. Man, it got so frustrating. Finally got it, so happy, and then shook it around, cassette fell off. What are you gonna do? You gotta pick up the cassette, put it back on, figure out how I'm gonna limp it to the race, and hopefully someone at the race can repair it for me. We're actually halfway through the video here, trying to talk about setting up tubeless, and I've pumped the pump up 10 times and the tubeless is just not working with us, which I think is a really good learning opportunity for all of us. I'm gonna take a moment here to stop, to catch my breath, to go and make a cup of tea or something like that, just take my mind off it for a minute, because sometimes it just doesn't go your way. I've learnt if it's not going your way and you've tried it a few times, I remember I had a friend when I was younger who said you should go and boil the billy. That was what he called it. If he's trying to work on a job and it's just not going his way, and instead of throwing tools across the floor and getting angry and it's not working, just stop, catch your breath, go for a walk, go into a different room, make a cup of tea, make a coffee, do anything other than working on that particular job, and you'll come back to it with a fresh mind, fresh hands, and just a better mood. So hopefully you've got a better chance at getting it right next time. So I'm gonna go and make a cup of tea. Mate, guys, I just had the worst experience. I didn't say hit record yet, and I just hit the lever and it's gone up, and now we've got full pressure. Of course that happens when we're not filming. So I I'm laughing out loud, but in my head I'm screaming because sometimes it just does not work, and then the one time that you want it to work, as in you hit record on the camera, it doesn't work, and then when you don't hit record, it does work. So I don't know what else to say. Sometimes that's just the way it goes, but yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna deflate it anyway and try and repump it up so you can try and hear what the sounds make. Now that it's gone up once, hopefully it should go up a little bit easier another time, which it won't, but I'm gonna try it anyway. So let's have a look. So we've got some tubeless sealant scattered across the rim here, valve core back on there.